I'm Paul Lawton, Paul Lawton Construction. We've been building in Santa Cruz County since 1975. And what we're trying to do today is show you some before and after shots of what can be done in upgrading a house. This house was built in 1968, pretty run down when we got here. And I want to show you what we can do to make it more comfortable with modern sensibilities, including energy efficiency and comfort. So let's go on inside and we'll take a peek. There are several things we try to do when we come into an old house. First thing we try and do is bring it up to modern safety standards. Another thing we try and do is bring it up to modern energy efficiency standards. Safety standards include making sure that the wiring and plumbing is in good condition, the framing is in good condition. Energy standards are much more fun because we get to do things. For example, in this house, we put in a high efficiency furnace, dual zoned. The new furnaces are so much better, both in the energy they use and in the comfort for the house. They operate on a different system than before. We upgrade the size of the ducting. It's almost silent when it's in use. But when you add the energy savings, it's a remarkable improvement. Double pane windows, of course, go without saying. We put in energy efficient fluorescent ceiling lights. That allows us to cut way down on the wattage necessary to light a room. We can add insulation around them so that we maintain an improved energy plane above and below. New light fixtures are often either LED or fluorescent. All of the fluorescents that we use are now dimmable. They have all different color spectrums. We specifically choose different color spectrums of the fluorescent bulbs for different locations. For example, in the kitchen, we want to brighten it up, so we use a brighter fluorescent. In the living room, we want a little warmer. So those are all things that's part of the lighting design. More subtle is when we come to designing the interior of a space for the subtle comfort of the client. Often in a modern house, rooms are broken up into smaller spaces, and we would come into a room like this and knock out walls to make great spaces that are accommodating and comfortable and just basically feel spacious to the client. Our job when we get in here is to tie the room together so that it flows. That's why we carry the wood floor all the way through the building, so that it flows as one space instead of breaking it up into carpet and tile and this, that, and the other. This is a premium cherry floor. It's called an engineered floor. What's unique about it is that it's a click-together floor that floats over an insulating pad. And when you're in a two-story building, that's very important because we need to isolate the sound for comfort of both the people upstairs and downstairs. One of the things I want to point out is when we're remodeling today, stone prices have gotten so competitive that we can really upgrade kitchens and bathrooms at competitive rates. Here's a sample of a granite that we put in to remodel this kitchen completely. Modern cabinets, counters, appliances are all ENERGY STAR rated now, which also helps keep your utility bills low. This used to be a little walled-off kitchen, half wall there. Once again, many small rooms made for a cluttered space. Opening up the walls a little bit, the non-bearing walls between, all of a sudden it becomes a great room that flows. And flow is a big part of modern remodels, having spaces flow together. Here's another example of how we can dress things up simply with stone at a very competitive cost. We put in a new stone slab here, wrap it up around the sill, stone floors, new cabinets. This is the type of investment that will not need attention for many, many, many years. Equally will not go out of date for many years. This is another example of a room where we knocked out some non-bearing walls that were making this room small. We opened up the ceiling space. We put our utilities into chases, so we end up with a great room here. When we have a downstairs bathroom without windows, it's a special challenge to make it feel comfortable. One of the best ways we can address that is trying to give it a little extra design oomph. And stone is a great way to do that. When you come in here, you notice less that it doesn't have a window, which we're used to, but what you notice more is how nice and solid all the stone feels. Once again, with the help of Keith Curry of Central Coast Tile. This is a bathroom that will last for decades and decades without needing any more attention. What I want to show you in here is how much we can improve on a bathroom by using stone. As I mentioned before, stone has gotten very competitive. In the hands of a master craftsman like Keith Curry of Central Coast Tile, we can come in and put together a stone floor, tie it all together with stone walls, stone counters, even stone sills on the windows. And we won't have to revisit this bathroom for many, many decades. We like to put in humidistat-controlled fans that respond automatically to increased moisture. So no more little mold spots in the bathroom with that. A simple improvement that we might not otherwise think of is new doors and hardware. A little bit of investment can go a long way in dressing up a room and bringing it into a modern comfort zone. This is another nice example of how we can open up rooms. We expand this with a new concrete pad which invites you out to get out there and see the ocean view and surrounding garden. It's amazing what some simple little interventions, how they can open up and expand the house. A wood-framed house in California should last for hundreds of years. Unfortunately, many won't because of failures in original design. Many plywood houses built in the 60s or 70s fall into that category. Often there was no paper behind the plywood. So it makes it very hard to provide an effective moisture barrier around windows and doors especially. In this particular circumstance, since we were putting in windows anyhow, we took off the original siding. The siding was a substandard 3/8 product. It didn't provide appropriate modern earthquake shear resistance. So we got a double bang for our buck, as it were, by putting new siding on here. We put up 5/8 plywood T111 siding. We nailed it off to earthquake standards for shear. And while we were at it, we put complete plane of paper behind it to integrate with our windows and doors. Having done that, I would expect that this building can last, like I say, easily 100 years, 150 years or more. While we're at it, we take advantage and we add a couple little touches of decorative water tables, both for drainage planes, but more importantly, to just dress it up a little bit so it looks a little nicer. A lot of old houses that are built on hillsides, we have a situation called cut and fill. We cut into the hillside and we put the fill out front. Unfortunately, as is too often the case, the fill out front is not properly compacted and the house settles down. This house had settled down on its front foundation by over 2 inches. In the old days, that would have been a real mess to deal with. We were able to come in here with modern technology and use helical coils, cleanly reinforce this with engineered 50,000-pound load-bearing helical screws down in, reinforce the foundation, bring it back up. Once again, we've created a simple solution that will extend the life of this house by hundreds of years. I would like to give a nod to Avalon Construction. Roger Pass, who did the work here, did a great job for us on reinforcing this house and extending its life.